I just want to take a minute to show you how cool this forest is. This is the climb up to QOE right now, formerly known as Clingman's Dome. The plan was to make it up to Clingman's Dome yesterday, but then there were storms rolling in and all of us kind of decided not to. I kind of think I could have made it. I'm regretting a little bit not just pushing forward and going up there, but it would have been storming for part of that time, but the storms were not that bad, so I think I could have been okay. But this is a beautiful morning. I'm trying to decide whether to go into town today or tomorrow. I have enough food for 2 more days, so we'll see. But I'm excited to get to the top of Clingman's Dome, now known as Mount Kuohi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's cloudy and smoky because it's the Smoky Mountains, so I don't know if there will be much of a view, but I don't really care about the view. So it's the highest point on the AT. That's exciting. I'm once again very grateful for earplugs because I had a pretty decent night sleeping in the shelter despite the fact that it was a full house. And apparently a lot of people did not have a nice time sleeping in the shelter because there was a lot of noise, which I didn't hear. I'll talk to you soon. Clingman's Dome, highest point, beautiful. Yay, 200. Hello again. Man, I just can't help starting a video with now it's raining. Well, it started raining. I'm here at Mount Collins Shelter. Right now it's just me because it is the middle of the day. It is like 12 o'clock, it's lunchtime, and this is where I'm stopping for the night. It feels weird stopping in the middle of the day at like only, I think I've gone like 6 miles total today, but it just makes sense logistically because I have 1 day of food left and I need to get into Gatlinburg tomorrow for a resupply. And between here and Newfound Gap is nothing. So it's about a 5.6 mile hike in the morning. So I'm just gonna stay here for the night, stay out of the rain that seems to actually be intensifying. So I got here just in time. I'm gonna eat my lunch, hang out. I have my hammock hanging out right there, getting a little drier. And here's just like a tour of the shelter, I guess. Here's my backpack. It's hanging from the rafters. This is pretty common in North Carolina. I didn't see this at all in Georgia, but you'll often find paracord hanging from the rafters with a stick so that you can hang your pack so it doesn't get chewed by mice throughout the night. Every single shelter has mice living in it. It's just a fact of the shelter. This shelter is pretty standard for what we've been seeing in the Smokies. You have your top level, your bottom level. They do tend to be pretty variable heights. So this one is pretty short and I can get up there pretty quickly. Here's my sleeping bag. It's just kind of airing out right now from being in my pack for the last few hours. And then over here we have the dining area. I do really like the structure of the shelters in the Smokies. You have like this nice long bench, and I guess this makes it so you can stand. The park itself is not really handicap accessible, I wouldn't say. Here's some food I have laid out. I'm gonna eat later in a few minutes, really. My Life water bottle here is my filtered water. My Smart water bottle here is my unfiltered water. That's the system that I've been using the whole time I've been out here, and it works great. Over here is this other little bench area. And it's kind of cool being in the Smokies because the tree cover actually made it so it didn't seem like it was raining until I got here. And then in the back of the shelter over here, oh cool, it's kind of stopping. In the back of the shelter, let's see if I can find it again. We have the privy over that way through the woods. You do not need to see what a privy looks like. Oh, I walked right past it. Here we have food storage. Every shelter so far in the Smokies has bear hanging cables. You have to hang your food in the Smokies. Even if you have a canister, you have to hang your bear canister because the bears have figured out how to get your food. They figure out the bear canisters or they roll them away. They figured out how to get in the bear boxes. So I guess like bear hanging cables are kind of the only way. So it's been like really nice knowing exactly how I'm going to hang up my food at night instead of having to worry about definitely getting to camp before dark and being able to throw my cable. So yeah, that is a tour of a standard shelter here in the Smokies. A lot of the shelters, some of the shelters don't have privies, so I really like it when there is a privy because it keeps everything consolidated. They are gross, don't get me wrong, they are disgusting. But the worst thing I've seen so far, and Tennessee is the one with all of these, the worst is when it's a toilet area. I won't go too into depth about the toilet area and stuff. There are just gross things out here in the woods that you have to deal with. But overall, it's beautiful. I really like how rainforesty and moss covered it is. It's just hard to capture on camera. It's been like walking through an enchanted forest. I am kind of hopeful I won't be the only one at the shelter tonight because that'll be a little scary. I haven't had to camp by myself yet. I assume there'll be at least some section hikers coming. Maybe, I don't know. Because we stopped early last night, our plan got kind of thrown off because all of us were going to stay at this shelter tonight. But some of the others that I was hiking with, they decided to get off trail today, one road earlier than Newfound Gap. I decided I want to continue on because I feel fine. Even though it's been wet the last couple days, I really don't feel like getting off trail and spending a night anywhere. So, like in town. So I'm just gonna stop here, hike the 5.6 miles to Newfound Gap tomorrow morning, hopefully catch a shuttle, get some food, and then hop right back on trail and then hike another 3 miles to the next shelter. And so hopefully all of that works out. That's all for today. Today's been pretty nice. Even though it's a little rainy, it has not been super hot, which is my ideal way to hike. And it's just been kind of like misty and pleasant. So I'm enjoying myself. I'll talk to you later. Hello again. Every single time I turn on the camera, I'm like, suddenly someone is gonna walk up and be like, what are you doing? Anyway, this is the evening outfit for me on trail. We got the puffy coat, we got the comfy sweatpants, I have a synthetic shirt underneath. This is all of the stuff that I keep as dry as possible, so that when I get to camp in the evening, I can just put it on and feel nice and comfy, no matter what kind of weather I've been through. Additionally, I have dry socks and these little down booties that I put over my socks if it's really cold, but I always have my sleep socks, so no matter what, keep these separate from your hiking socks. That's the biggest thing. Dry sleep clothes, hiking clothes that go through all the other stuff, because at the end of the day, what's going to save your life and also keep you a little bit happier on the muggy rainy, super cold days, what's going to make you happy is a dry pair of socks and your puffy coat. Always, every time. I don't really know what to do. I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm in my evening clothes now. It's too early to eat dinner. I think I might have dinner at like 4 o'clock, maybe 5. We'll see. It's around 3 o'clock right now, which is too early. But I do want to get snuggled up in my sleeping bag and kind of go to bed. There's not much to do after a day of hiking other than eat and then hang your bear bag and then go to sleep. So I'm probably going to eat in the next hour and then hang my bear bag and then snuggle up in my sleeping bag and just kind of go to bed. Maybe I'll listen to an audiobook. That sounds like a good idea. I don't know what to do with myself. But I don't think I could have made a better decision. I want to be closer to the entrance to the camp, just in case somebody walks up, because this way I can bail on the video if I need to. But I just don't really know what to do. I think like I couldn't have made a better decision as far as stopping for the day, because I know I couldn't have made it to Newfound Gap before 2:30, and then I wouldn't have had a way to get back to trail at a reasonable time to get to the next shelter. And in the Smokies, you can't stealth camp. You have to camp in the shelters or around the shelters. If too many section hikers have the shelter reserved, then through hikers have to camp around the shelter. But if the shelter's not full, through hikers are supposed to use the shelter. And I've been abiding by that. I've noticed a couple of like stealth camp spots along the way, but not very many, not as many as the whole rest of the trail. So for the most part, we kind of are following those rules. But it makes it tricky. Like the shelters, I'm sure they planned out the shelter layouts based on something, but it's just tricky to have to come to this shelter, which was only 6 miles away from the last one, and then I have 5 miles to get to Newfound Gap. It would be nice if there was another shelter a little closer to Newfound Gap, maybe, but like then again, the plan would have worked out fine if I hadn't stopped early yesterday. So that was peer pressure. It wasn't even peer pressure. It was just kind of like an attempt to avoid getting super wet again a second day in a row, which I was all for. We were able to take advantage of the sun and air out some of our stuff, and most of my stuff is still dry enough. Like my hiking clothes, they're up there in the rafters, getting a little bit of sun. If anybody else comes, I'll move my stuff, but what little daylight there is. Now, there's not like a whole lot of actual sunlight outside because it's been raining off and on. So I'm doing what I can to air my clothes out a little bit. But yeah, this video is gonna be one of the longer ones, I guess, because I'm just talking a lot. I haven't had a lot of time on trail to actually like talk to myself, which is weird. I spend most of the day hiking alone, but then when you get to the shelter at the end of the night, you're pretty much never alone. Like, this is the first time I've come upon a shelter that I mean to spend the night at, and I'm by myself. And this one's a little freaky too, because it's off trail. It's like, it's not on the AT, it's almost a half mile off trail. And so that's another reason I'm kind of like, I wonder if I will have anybody show up tonight to camp here. So we'll see. On one hand, it would be cool to have the shelter to myself, because then I can just get up whenever I want and not worry about making too much noise and just like taking my time. On the flip side of that, though, in the middle of the night, in a place with very well noted bear activity, it might be a little freaky to be here by myself. But, you know, at some point out here when you're through hiking, you gotta camp alone. And I'm glad my first time is at a shelter if this does turn out to be my first time camping alone. So, we'll see. Maybe you'll hear from me tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. Bye.